We're going to talk about Linoit for a minute and how you can use that with research. To get to Linoit, you could type in en.linoit.com, or you could simply go to Google, type in Linoit, Linoit, and it's the first thing that pops up here. So you can see I'm already ready to go and logged in. However, if I wasn't, and I was simply going to it for the first time, I could click Give it a shot. However, I couldn't save my boards, or I could go ahead and sign up. If you click Sign Up, it does play nicely with Google, so you could click Google, and it's just going to have you log into your account, and it's going to ask you to provide access, which I've already done since I've used this before. When you're ready to create a canvas, which is what it's called when you're going to do a board, you'll click Create a New Canvas. You'll choose the background you want for it, and you're going to name it. You can see you could choose one of these boards, or you could do a solid color, or you could even pick your own image. Then you're going to choose what publicity you want. If you leave it on private use, only you can see it. If you want to be able to share it with your teacher so they can see your notes, you would need to, or with group members, if you're in a group, you're going to need to choose the second option. So show stickies to everyone. The everyone may post stickies makes it public for anybody to see, and then everybody could post to it, which you don't want people editing your work. So primarily you would either do this for your own personal research, or if your teacher would like you to be able to share it with them, then you'll choose show stickies to everyone. And that means they can see it, but they can't add anything to it. So then you're going to click Create Canvas, and you're ready to start posting. You have a few options on your blank canvas. You could simply do a post-it note like this. You could add a picture by clicking here. You could add a video by clicking here. You could upload a file by clicking here. Or you could simply type in text. You could change the color of that text if you'd like to. You could even change the font of the text. You could even add an icon. And then you hit post. And there it is. There's just your text. Now once something's been posted, you could edit it by clicking the first button. You could copy it to another canvas. Maybe you're doing two different assignments, but it seems like it would be appropriate for both. Or you could remove it by clicking Peel Off. So when you're doing your research, let's say you found a website that you're sure you would like to use in your research. You could copy the URL, choose a sticky note, and paste that. You can see it still has the formatting I had before, so we want that a little bit smaller so we can put more in there. You could even add notes. So for example, maybe you wanted to note that a concussion is defined as a process that affects the brain, typically induced by trauma. So you could either choose to quote that, or you could paraphrase it. So there is no one definition for a concussion, as it is a process affecting the brain in a variety of ways. Causes of concussions are usually due to trauma to the brain, or we could say brain trauma. Okay, so here it says it's defined as a complex process, and you'll see later in the page it says that it's hard to define because there's so many ways to do that. So you've either paraphrased or you've quoted. You're done with that. Now you might even want to choose to put your citation in there. So let's say we're going to go ahead and cite this website. and we use EasyBib or some other citation generator. So I've gone to EasyBib, I've put the URL in, it wants an author, which there's not one listed. It wants a sponsor, which was the Sports Concussion Institute. And it wants a date of last update. I know what EasyBib wants because it's highlighted in pink there for me, so I know I need to be filling something in. If I've done my due diligence and there isn't a day, a month, or an author, like in this case, then you don't need to fill it in, but you do at least need to check for it. You also want to check that what they filled in is correct. So for example, website title, they put concussion facts / Sports Concussion Institute, and that does appear to be correct. And then for the article title, they put both of those again. The article title is actually Concussion Facts because that's what starts the title. We're going to click Create Citation, and it's going to generate the citation for us. We could simply do copy and paste. It's copied the citation. And then we can paste it right there. These little I's are just saying that this should be in italics. So we could actually remove those so they're not there, or keep them to remind us that it should be italicized because Linoit does not allow for that sort of formatting. Okay, so once we're done with that, we've got our notes, we maybe saved the URL so we could quickly get back to it, and we have our citation so that we don't have to do that later if we decide to use this information. You can see here there are different types of stickies, more than just the 4 colors that were listed before. My recommendation is that you color code based on the source, so you know where all of these pink sticky notes, for example, came from. You can add tags if you want to add that. So definition, for example, for this one, maybe even causes, since we indicated it was from brain trauma, and then you'll hit post. Now your sticky note's there. It tells you the tags here. If you click on those tags, then it will pull up all of the ones that are labeled with that same tag. So as you're doing your outline or planning your paper, you could say, well, I need something about the causes. So then you could click causes and you'd have all these different causes pop up that you could include in that paragraph. The other cool thing is now we've got the citation right here, and if we end up using any of the pink sticky notes, then we know we need to include this citation on our works cited page. And I have it, in this case, I did a quote and I paraphrased it. If you're going to quote, I would highly recommend putting the quotation marks around it. That way when you go to include it in your essay, you know that wasn't your words, and you know that you need to embed that quote, or you do know it's your words because there's no quotation marks around it. In either case, you do know you need parenthetical documentation. In fact, you might want to go ahead and parenthetically document right now. So I'm going to edit it. And since this was on a website and there were no page numbers and no author, all I can do for my parenthetical documentation would be the title of the website. So I've done that and then added my period. Now, when I go to do my paper, I've already got everything I need to do to cite this without actually having to go back to the website to try to figure it out. This is even more important if there were page numbers, because you wouldn't want to have to scroll through every single page or do a find with Control F trying to locate that information to be able to include the page number. So going ahead and citing right now and doing parenthetical documentation is going to save you a lot of time in the long run. So now let's say that we've switched to a new website and we're now going to use this website. So this time it's a new source, so maybe I want to use green. So again, I could include the URL. I could put notes here, parenthetical documentation here, and then my works cited here. And this time, this one gave me information about a description of it. So you can see here, no clear definition of concussion, the causes and symptoms. So let's say causes, symptoms, definition. Then I post it. I can move these around wherever I want to, and I know this is a different source from this one because it's a different color. So that's a pretty nice, easy way to do it. The great thing about Linoit is it's very visual, and when you do get ready to organize your items, let's say you had more than one piece of information from this same resource, notes here, works cited, and this one was just the symptoms. So I've got all these sticky notes. Well, maybe I decide, okay, this is going to be my paragraph, introductory paragraph. I'm going to make this bigger, post. Okay, so I've got this. And I'm going to move introductory paragraph here, and I'd like to include the definition in that introductory paragraph. And now I'm going to do a paragraph over the causes. So let's do causes here, and this one's causes. So I want to include this information in that paragraph. And then I'm going to do a paragraph over symptoms. And I know that this information's good here. So what I've been able to do is I've put different notes about different things from the same source so I can easily categorize it, and I've got a visual map of what my essay is going to look like when I get ready to piece it together and write it. So again, very useful tool that you can use for research and visually organize your research if that's a preferred method for you.